Well, the time has come. It's time to insulate this. Tonight is the first frost. It's going to be 30 degrees. I doubt this will fully freeze anyway, but I don't want to take a chance. And I finally got some insulation in. This is 1/4 inch aluminum foil. This is 16 inches by 25 feet. This is for ductwork. I decided to go with this instead of this. I originally started putting this on here with this insulation, then quickly realized what's going to happen. Soon as the humidity and dampness hits it, it's going to start sagging and drooping. I didn't quite think that through, but luckily I didn't spend too much money. So I'm going to be replacing this stuff with this. This is supposed to be waterproof, weather resistant, all that. Hopefully it does the job. So let's get this other junk off. Looks like we're ready. Let me show you. Right here, valve, turn it off and on. This here is the regulator. You need this regulator. I have this set to almost off, honestly. I think it goes from 1 to 5 PSI, and I've got it set as low as possible. Or basically, you can judge it by when the rabbits go to get water, how much is squirting out on them. If it's just a little bit, it's good. If it's too little and they keep hitting that nipple and barely anything comes out, well, it's time to up the pressure on it. All it is just a little turn. So you can probably use just regular duct tape, but I have this stuff on hand from working on air conditioners. This is kind of like wrapping a Christmas present. This is it. How you like it? Looks like ductwork, doesn't it? Hopefully it works. This is a 1/4 inch, and there is another piece that I decided to put under here to cover up the tube and more of the heat tape and whatever. I don't have it fully going in the hole, but you know, it'll have to work. So I went with this 18-foot heat tape. It should hopefully work. What I'm going to do is wrap it around, and I'm going to run it along each of these tubes here and then zip tie it to where it stays nice and close to it, you know, to keep the heat in. And then I'm going to come back over with the insulating foil. Okay, so what do you think? I zip tied some on this hose to keep this from freezing. I tried to get it as close to the inside nipple as possible, and I just wrapped it around here. I didn't put any ties around this part per se, except for this area, and I had to finagle it a little bit. I have one too many wraps on here, but hey, I think this is working just fine. Once we put some insulation on this, it's ready to go. No leaks or anything, even though I was wiggling these things around. That's the benefit of having a regulator on here. Well, good morning. It's the next day. It was freezing last night, probably around 30 degrees or so. I have my infrared thermometer that doesn't work very well, and I can feel that this is already nice and warm, which is good because my fingers are freezing, but the pipe itself is pretty cold. I don't have the insulation on here just yet. That's coming in a little later on, so let's just test the outside temp. This says 28. That's odd. So that's 33 on the ground. Let's check the water. 32, a nice frosty 32 degrees. Well, let's check the heat tape. Whoa, 96, 97. Yeah. So as soon as we get some more of that insulation, this will be good to go. And I tell you something that I'm thinking about doing. This freezes in the wintertime. That's what it does on a chicken coop. But there is a reservoir in the chicken coop itself that has heat tape on it, so they always have water. This actually defrosts pretty quickly, and the sun doesn't hit it too much, but I'm thinking about painting it black. Just that little bit of light absorption might defrost it a little quicker. The heat tape turns on at, I think, 35 degrees or so, and then cuts off at around 40 something. So with the insulation on there, what'll happen is that once this gets nice and warm and it gets up to temperature, this will cut off, saving me power. So let's go ahead and check the current draw. Wouldn't you know, when I go to try to show y'all how much current it draws, it cuts out. It's not because it's broke or anything. The sensor, or the relay contactor thing here, is at 47, 48, 50 degrees. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. It doesn't need to be on at that temperature because it's not freezing. And we're just gonna have to wait for it to kick back on, and then I can give you a measurement. Tell you what, it's almost warmer than my fingers right now. Fingers are showing 56, 54. It's like frostbite weather, isn't it? I wanna move to a warm beach somewhere without these rabbits. What the heck? What are y'all doing? Crazy bunnies? You crazy bunnies, what are you doing? Well, it's back on. It's 130 watts, 128.6. So this is 18 feet of heat tape. And once we put the insulation on here, it shouldn't be coming on as much anyway. So you could figure that into your electricity bill. It's totally worth having this on here rather than taking a chance of having this bust or them not being able to get their water. So here it is in all its glory. This time I used 24-inch by 6 foot instead of that 16-inch wide. And I was able to cut my slits and set this thing in here. Now I will tell you, the piece of PVC here is 10 feet long, and it wasn't long enough to cover the ends. I had to use some of the scrap material I had from the other side. And I did the edges right here. So what I'm gonna do is wait a few nights when it gets back to freezing, and I'm gonna check its consumption over a period of time, and I'll put that in the description. If you have any experience with frozen water, I'd like to hear your opinion. Leave them in the comments. And if you'd like to see how I built this automatic waterer, check out the video for that. Before you leave, give me one of these, and I'll catch you next time. Just kidding.